give us encryption and decryption. Okay, so we'll develop now onwards a step by step, because now onwards the programs will be longer and longer. So we'll try to solve the programs or writing the programs step by step. Okay, so today we are going to write a program, or we can say develop a program for Caesar Cipher. Okay, so let us start with this. So this is the program which I have created, that I have a list of alphabets. I have taken 3 inputs, that is direction. So whether you want to encode, that is to encrypt, and decode to decrypt. Okay, so user matlab computer need your input, whether you want to encrypt or decrypt. Next, which text you want to encrypt or decrypt. And the last one is how many digits you. So suppose I write say hello H. So H will be shifted to, suppose you want to shift by 5 digits or 5 characters. So H will be shifted by 5 characters, means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So instead of H, it should print M. Okay. So in this way, for example, E. So E should be shifted by 5, means 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So J must be printed instead of E. Okay. So your resulting text will, we can say it is encrypted text, or you can say ciphertext. Okay. So here step by step I have written the comments. The first comment is create a function called encrypt that takes the text and shift as an input. Okay. So we are going to define the encrypt function. Say define encrypt. And we have to take 2 inputs, that is text and shift, which we have accepted it from the keyboard. So in the calling function, we will send text and shift. So here we can use the same variable name, that is text and shift. But just to understand, let us give the different names here. Say plain text. And let me take shift amount. Okay, so I'm going to define a function with 2 parameters, that is text and amount to be shifted. Now next, inside the encrypt function, shift each letter of the text forwards in the alphabet list. Okay, so now how to get the current position? If we get the current position, then only we will be able to shift the digit. For example, first of all, if we write the loop for how many times, we'll take our plain text, as many characters are there we supplied in the text, or we can say which is to be encrypted. Okay, so we'll write say for letter. In this we have plain text. Okay, so for each letter what we have to do, we first of all have to find the current position. Let us say position. If you can recall, we can use the index command to get the current position. Okay, so from which list we want the current position of the character? Alphabet. So alphabet dot index. Okay, so you want current position of what? So here we have letter. Okay, this is the syntax that in the list alphabet you want the index of letter. Okay, now suppose instead of writing this index command, is there any other way to get the current position? There may be, but it takes longer time, or we may have to write more statements for that. Okay, so directly here we are using the index command, which is associated with the list. So we write position is equal to alphabet dot index into bracket later. Okay, so what is next? We have to find out the next position. Okay, we can say next position, or we can say new position, whatever we write. New position is equal to current position plus what? Shift amount. Okay. So here we got the new position. Now how to get this later of the new position? So we simply say into bracket new position. Okay. So alphabet at new position, we will get the corresponding letter. So where we want to store this letter, we have to create a new string. For example, we may say this is ciphertext. So we have to initialize it. So in this definition, we will initialize ciphertext. To null. Okay, blanks. And now we will add this ciphertext plus equal to, simple like arithmetic addition. We can do this. What we have to add? Alphabet new position. Okay, so we can write this in here. Control X. Okay, so we got new character in ciphertext. Okay, that's all. At the end of the loop, if we write here, it will be part of the loop. And if we write here, it will be end of the loop. So print what we want, ciphertext. Okay. Now, if we try to run this, what happens? Nothing, because we have to call the function first. Okay, so here we simply call the function in the next hint I have given. What is the name of the function we have given? Encrypt. ENCRYPT. Which should supply here text and shift.
Hello, sorry, sir. Sorry to interrupt you. Sir, your screen is not visible.
Not visible. Okay.
Nice, sir.
I have already.
Now is it visible, sir?
Okay. This one?
Yes,
this
sir.
Is visible? Okay.
Okay. Team वाला दिख रहा है, sir. Yes, yes, sir. Now is it visible? Yes, sir.
Visible. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So should I explain again or it will do?
As you want, sir.
Okay. Okay, let me explain again.
Thank
Come
you.
on.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So as we are going to discuss now onwards the longer and longer programs, we will develop it step by step. So this is the first step which we are going to develop for the ciphertext. Okay. So I have a list of alphabets. I have 3 inputs. Direction, that is you want to whether encrypt or decrypt. Next is text, which text you want to encrypt or decrypt. After inputting it, I am converting it into lowercase letter. Then the shift amount, by how many characters, by how many positions you want to shift your text. Okay. So here I have written one comment, to-do list, create a function called encrypt that takes the text and shift as an input. Okay. So I can create a function, say define encrypt. Okay, I have to take 2 parameters, that is text and shift. I can use the same word here, text and shift, but just to differentiate it from the argument, let me take say plain text, comma, shipped amount. Okay. Okay. So now ultimately as a result, we want a text which is to be encrypted. So let me call it as a ciphertext. And let me take it is equal to null. Okay. Now what I have to do, I have to go through all the characters of the text which I have input, which is to be encrypted. Okay. So I will say for any name you can give later in what text. Okay. For later in plain text. Here we have plain text. We have each letter, but for us letter is not important because we need position, because we want to shift the position of the letter. Okay. So we can know the position using the index command, which is used with the list. Okay. So position is equal to, we can say alphabet into bracket later. Okay. Remember here, if there are more than one occurrence of certain letter, for example, if I have written these alphabets 2 times, then it will supply the index of only first occurrence. Okay, that we will discuss later because we required it to discuss it. So at this stage, I am saying that only first occurrence index will be supplied by this command, that is alphabet.index letter. Okay. For example, if we write E here, then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 will be supplied. Okay. Next, if after getting the position, we should get the new position. Okay. So new position is equal to old position, means the obtained position plus amount. So we want a new character or encrypted character which is to be shifted by given as a shift value of the shift variable. Okay. And here it is corresponding variable is shift amount. Okay. So after getting the new position, we can get a particular character from the alphabet. Okay. Which is to be stored in the ciphertext. Okay. We can simply say plus equal to alphabet into bracket new position. Okay. So now we can print this. See, if we print here, it will be part of the for loop. After coming out from the loop, we want to print. So I will say print into bracket f string, the encrypted text is ciphertext. Now we have to call this function. So encrypt into bracket the 2 input argument, that is text and shift. I have to use text and shift. So if you run this program, okay, it will ask for encode or decode. At this stage, there is whatever value you want, you can give. Let us say give encode. Text say hello. To buy say 5 digits. So the ciphertext is MJQQT. You can see here in the example I have given that if you, for example, if you give hello shift by 5 digits, you will get MJQQT. Okay, so this is the first portion. For the Caesar cipher, we have written a function for encrypt. Okay, similarly, let us see now next stage. Okay, next stage is what first thing we are going to do is create a different function called decrypt that takes the text and shift as an input. Okay, so now we are going to create a decryption function. Okay, so if we copy this, then we'll see. Okay. Instead of plain text, I can use any other, say, in text. Okay. Let me take. Doesn't matter whatever variable you will like. Right. Okay. Shift amount. Okay. Ciphertext. Instead of that, let me use the word another word, say new text is equal to blank. For later in plain text, but here I have taken in text. Okay. Position is equal to alphabet index later, same. Okay, but instead of here plus, we have to write minus. Okay, because for decryption, we have to shift other side of the text. Okay, so print new position. Here just I have printed it. Right now, let me make it comment. Okay, so new position is equal to position plus shift amount. And ciphertext, let me take new text because I have used the word new text. New text is equal to new text plus alphabet new position. Okay, so this is all about decryption function, right? So here you have to write that if the code is encrypt or if your direction is encode, then we call encrypt function. If your direction is decode, then we will use decrypt function. So that we have to write, say if direction is equal to encode, then we have to call encrypt function into bracket text comma shift. Else we have to call decrypt function decrypt text comma shift. Okay, now let us run this. What happens? Let us see. Okay, let us see encode. Type input message. Let me type right now same message. Hello. Type shift amount again. Let me give 5. Okay. So just for checking, I have printed the new position, but the output text MJQQT. Let me make it bigger. It is MJQQT. Let me run it again. Now let me give the code MJQQT. Let me give 5. It should give same hello. Okay. So somewhere there is a problem. See, we are getting ROVVY, which is not correct. It should give you hello. Okay. So let us check. Decrypt in text shift amount. New text for later in text. Position is equal to alphabet index later to position minus shift amount. Okay, that is correct also. New position is equal to, oh, I have written 2 times. That is the problem. Okay. Right. So by mistake, I kept the plus sign also. Okay. So now I think it should give us code MJ QQT shipped by 5 and we got hello. Okay. So this is about the decryption function, right? Now let us see before we go to the next stage. Suppose my input is like this. Okay, say encode. Civilization. Okay, if I write message civilization and I'm shifting by say 7 characters. Okay, so you will get this. This is because I will show you. Okay, now what happens? Okay, let me run it again. So I want to show you the error. Code. Civilization by 5. Okay, you are getting error because what index error? Because whatever the amount you are getting after adding the shipped amount, which is more than 25. Okay, here you can see it is 26, 7, 13 and 26. So for Z or for some other character, it is 26, which is beyond 25. Okay, so how to get it? So one way is you can add all these 26 characters again in the list. This is one way. I will tell you how. So Control C, comma, Control V. Okay, now if we run this and give the same thing. Type your message. I say 5. Okay, now you got it. Okay, because now I have 51 positions, 0 to 51. Okay, and whenever you will try to find the index, it will give you first occurrence. Though A is again there in the list, but it will always give you 0 position for A. Okay, so if you add something, it will not going beyond the 25. Sorry, it will not going beyond the 51. But what happens if your shipped amount is very big, like 45 or 80, like this? Okay. So one way is, let us see in the next step. One way is we can use the modulo operator. That if the shipped amount is more than 26, then we take modulo operator. So we always take modulo operator for shipped amount. Then it won't require to double the element. Let me delete this. Okay. Now, whatever the shipped amount, if we take mode 26, then it will always give between 0 to 25. Okay. So here we have to check. Now, before that, let us go step by step. Okay. You can check here the encrypt function and decrypt function. We have 2 input. Okay. Same, we are taking null string. For loop also same. Okay. Only is instead of adding the things shift amount, we are subtracting the shift amount in case of decoding. Okay, so that can be achieved by a very simple statement. Okay, just to multiply the shift amount by -1. Okay, you will get the shift amount minus. So instead of addition, automatically it will be subtraction. So here the aim is to combine both this function. Okay, so now let me give you another name, single name. Let me call as a Caesar. Okay. So now I am going to define a new function called Caesar. Caesar. Now, instead of let me take plain text, no problem, or let me take in text. Okay, whatever you input, that is in text. Shift amount, and we need now direction. Okay, let me take shift direction. Okay, these 3 different variables I have taken. Okay, so we can say new text is equal to empty string. Okay, for later in plain text, so let me take in text. Position we take same. New position is equal to position plus shift amount. In case of decode, it will be minus. Okay, so here before we start the loop, we can say if shift direction is equal to decode, what we take shift amount equal to shift amount multiplied by -1. Okay, so now what happens? Just indentation problem is there. Instead of 4, it was 2. Okay. Okay, so now what happens? If it is decode, it will automatically subtracted, otherwise it will be added. Okay, and next is I have taken new text, so let me use the word new text. New text is equal to this. Okay, print the ciphertext or the resulting text is new text. Okay, so we now don't need of this function. Okay, both the functions are combined now, but the things is we have to send the direction also. Now again, this is also not required because we are now only with one function. Okay, so simply we'll call one function with the third variable called direction. Okay, so instead of doing this, simply call a function known as Caesar, Caesar. Okay, in text is equal to text, shift amount is equal to shift. So here instead of plain, I have taken in text, shift amount is equal to shift, and shift direction is equal to direction. Okay, that's it. So no need of this. Second thing, if your shift amount is very big, sometimes then you take the shift is equal to shift mode 26. So now it will always be between 0 to 25. OK. Now after adding this, we also take mod 6 because if it is Z or something and if your amount is say 7, then Z plus 7 will go out of the range. So here also we take 26. OK. So as far as negative is concerned, we need not to worry because in case of negative, automatically it will start from right hand side. OK. So next text. OK. OK. Now let us run this. Call this function with 3 variables. OK. OK. Encode. Civilization. Amount is supposed to 7. We got. Let me copy this. OK. Let us run it again. Try code. Let me give this input. And the shift amount was 7. So we got the same civilization. OK. Now let us try with one more input. For example, say encode. Hello. And let me give you. Let me give the input is 67 characters. Okay, shift by 67 positions. Still you will get the result. OK. But this is not expected result. This is WTAAD, which is not correct. OK. So somewhere we have to check. Shift amount is 26. Let us just print the new position. Code. So, 5 position. Oh, we got it correctly. OK, last time we gave something 67. Oh, then it must be different. OK. So to get 5, let me give 31. OK, so we know the result. So we give 31, right? OK, encode. So it was absolutely correct. Hello. 31. OK. So we got the same result MJQQT. OK. So this is about the different situations where we can combine these two functions in one function. What happens if the shift amount is 26 or some bigger number? Then we have handled it. At the same time, after addition, if it is going beyond 25, again we try to handle it and ultimately we got the correct result. OK, so this is about the Caesar-Cipher function. Now, can you do this? I want to make some changes that instead of running the program every time, I want to ask a user continuously that if he wants to continue, then he may type yes, then it should continue. And if he wants to stop, he may type no, then it should be stopped. OK. So I want to take a loop. And also for this, I want to include logo. So I have taken another program that is known as art.py, where I have taken a logo of Caesar-Cipher. OK. So we can the variable is logo. OK, and 3 quote is already given. Okay, so this will be printed as it is, right? We have to include this. Okay, so first of all, if we want to print the logo, what we will do? Import that. Okay, say from art import logo. Okay, and we simply print logo. Let us recall this import function. You can simply write here import art. If you do this, let me make this as comment. Then this logo should be the module name art. Say we can say art.logo. Then it will work. Okay. Or in other way, we can import from art import logo. Then no need to write this qualifier, that is art dot. Okay. So both the way it will work. Right. Okay. So logo will be printed. Now I want user okay, to-do list number 2. Instead of encrypt text forward. Okay, this we have done already. Okay, the encode text is this. Call the encrypt function. Okay, this is sorry. Let me go to the next module. Okay. This is next step. So let me copy these from this logo. File open. Okay. From art import logo. Okay, I will print this. Int logo. So before our input, logo will be printed for a better experience. Okay. Now what we have to do next thing is point number 2. What if the user enters a shift that is greater than the number of letters in the alphabet list? That we have done. Okay. Third step. What happens if the user enters a number, symbol or space? Okay. So other than other characters which is not in the alphabet list. Suppose user may write say meet me at 3. Okay. So only meet me at, they are to be encrypted, but the space should be as it is. 3 should be as it is. Okay. So our output should be like this. So let us see how to handle this. Okay. Whatever the character we are supply here, the text we have supplied, we have find the character from that. For character in start text. Okay. What we can do, we can check if problem is there. We can say if character not in. Okay, instead of not in, let me take in. Then we will do this. If character in alphabet then we will do these things. Okay. Okay, if the character is in alphabet, then we will do this thing. If not, what we will do? Else we take as it is. Then our end text our end text will be, instead of this, it should be the character itself. Okay, so any character which is not in the list will be converted as it is, will be kept as it is in the ciphertext. Okay. Now next is number 4. Can you figure out a way to ask the user if they want to restart the cipher program? Okay, so how we do that? We will repeat all the things. For example, from this particular place, we want to repeat. This one is the function only. Okay, logo we will put, we will print only once, right? Here there is a problem of little indentation. So let's manage it first. Okay. Okay. This print I'm supposed to write from this place. Now I want to repeat these things again and again. Okay, calling of the function and our input. So here we can say should end is equal to false. We can repeat while not should end. We'll repeat these things. Okay, now before we repeat this, we have to find a come out of this. Okay, so after calling the function, we should ask, say, user wish is equal to, say, input. Say, do you want to continue? Yes or no. We want to convert it into lowercase. Right now, what we'll do, if user wish equal to no, what we'll do, we'll make should end equal to true. Okay, in other case, if it is yes, then it will automatically continued. Okay, so let us try to run this. Okay, so we got the logo. Now let us input and code. Say message hello. Shipped by 5, say. Okay, we got the result and it is asking for continuation. Do you want to continue? Yes or no? Let us say yes. Okay. If user wish is equal to no, what is the error? Name error. That means data type error. Okay. User wish is equal to input. Yes or no. Oh, spelling is there. Okay. We'll give the same output input. Okay. Hello. By say 5. We got the result. Now we'll give yes. Okay. Yes, then again, now we want to decode. We'll give MJQQT will give shipped amount by 5. Why we got some other? Okay. We don't want it for 2 times. Okay, Caesar equal to -1. Okay, I forgot. Make it percentage. Okay, let us run this again. Directly decode MJQQT shipped amount is supposed to 5. Okay, we got hello, right? So I had deleted the percentage 26 by mistake. Okay, so this way we can, if we give no, what happens? There will be end. So this is the complete program for the Caesar cipher. Okay, I will give you with the content online. This program will be given to you. Now let us see the next. What is to be next? Next, we are going to discuss is the directory. Now, what you know about directory? Directory means, as usual, we have one word and its explanation. Sorry, dictionary, not directory. It is dictionary. OK, so in the dictionary, what we normally do, there is a word and there is a corresponding value, or we can say its meaning. OK, so dictionary. This dictionary facilities is very powerful in the Python. The idea of Python dictionary is same as we are using in our daily life. So whatever the dictionary we are using, so there will be 2 things. One is the word and other one is its explanation. For example, say code is a word and the meaning of the code is a program instructions. OK, we can say this code as key and its value, we call it as suppose value. So there will be 2 things in the dictionary, key and value. OK, and the same can be represented in the form of a table also. I have say bug is a key. Bug means an error in a program that prevent the program from running as expected. OK, this is its value. Function, it is a key, a piece of code that you can easily call over and over again. This is the value of the function I have taken. And loop, the action of doing something over and over again. So these are the 3 words I have initially taken. We can say this bug, function and loop as key, and these are its values. OK, next. OK, so in the Python, we write dictionaries using the curly bracket. So in the curly bracket, there will be key value, there will be key followed by colon, and there will be value. OK, so for example, if we write any dictionary in this way, say bug is equal to, this is the string. OK, now what happens? This bug is a key. OK, this bug will be, and this value is whatever the meaning we have written for that, that will be its value. So this is the Python dictionary. Now we have to define this dictionary using a variable. Any variable we can take. For example, say program dictionary is equal to, I have one variable or one key that is bug. I have another key that is function. Okay. What happens? It will be printed like this. Okay. But when we are defining, we just make it simple just by entering it, giving enter, because we can read it properly. Okay. And at the end of this list, at the end of the last value, we put comma, so that next value we can start from this place. For example, the third one is loop is equal to whatever we want to write. Okay. Now, suppose I will go to now Python. Open. Okay. So I have defined this program dictionary is equal to curly bracket. Actually, I can define in this way also. But just to increase the readability, I will write in this way. So we normally have practice to define the dictionary in this way so that it can be easily readable. Okay, how many keys are there? You can read it properly. Okay, now how to access these and how to define these? So with any variable name, use curly bracket. Then each element will have two things. One is key, other one is its value. Okay, so it is not necessarily that both the key and value must be of string type. It can be of any data type. Okay, it can be integer, it can be float, or it can be Boolean. Okay. Next, if we print this, now how to access all the elements? To access any element, we have to use the key. For example, here loop is there. Loop is the key. Now, if I print in this way, print program dictionary into bracket loop. Okay, so it should give the complete definition of the loop, that is, or we can say value of the loop. Now, if we run this, let us see what happens. Before we go, let me make all the other statements as comment. Okay, let us run this now. Okay, so it is giving the value of the word loop. Okay, now how to add element? It is very simple. Simply as we are printing it, we can add this also. Say program dictionary, then into bracket there will be value. Now see, this function is not the value or with a key of the already the dictionary which is exist. Okay, so program dictionary, the new value or new key equal to new value. Okay, now if we do this and print, now we will have three elements in the list. We have bug, we have loop, and we have third one is function. Okay, now what happens? Okay, so as we have seen in the several programs that we can define the empty list, we can define the empty string. In the same way, we can define the empty dictionary also. Okay, so how can we define? We simply say empty dictionary is equal to this one. Okay, so it will give you nothing, right? Or suppose if you want to delete all the elements of the current dictionary or the defined dictionary, you simply make it empty. Okay, just by assigning the new value known as empty dictionary. For example, from program dictionary is equal to blank. Okay, or just give a curly bracket with no value. then the current dictionary will become empty. Okay. Now, so what happens if we do this thing? So print item, and if I want to use the for loop for that. For item in program dictionary, what will be the output? I print this. Can you say? Can you guess what happens? It will give you only the key values. Okay, so this item will be all the key values one by one. That is bug, then loop, and then function. Okay, if you try to print this. Make this as comment first of all. Okay, you got bug, loop, and function. So when you take one by one all the elements using the for loop, okay, then it will give you only the key value. From the key value, from the key, if you want its value, then we'll simply use the key value as a subscript, and we'll try to print this. Print program dictionary item. Okay, so this will give you its value. Okay, now let us run this. See, bug and its value, loop and its value, function and its value. Okay, you can print in the same line also. For example, say we can use f string item must be written in the curly bracket because it's a value we want. We want semicolon, sorry, colon, and we want its value now. We can say program. Okay, so now let us see what we are getting. Okay, so bug, its value. So what happens? This must be value. So okay, so we got bug and its value, an error in a program that prevent the program from running as expected. Okay, and the loop and the function. I think the time is over, so we will discuss more about dictionary because it's a powerful feature of the Python. In next lecture, we will see more about dictionary. We'll see nesting of the dictionary, and we will see one project for auction. Okay, so thank you very much. I think it's all for today. Okay, madam.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can conclude.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.